news? Welcome back to another video, fellow treble winners. City play Aston Villa tonight, 8:15 kickoff at Villa Park. I don't like 8:15 p.m. kickoffs. I know you guys are watching. Oh God, I can't just got the shower. You guys overseas are thinking that's nothing, but this is our local team, and it's still really late. And it shouldn't be really late because I'm dad and I'm tired, and I don't want to be just talking about football until midnight, but that is live these days. City play tonight. It's a big game of football. I want to know, is it a must-win game of football? Like, do City have to win this tonight? Will John Stones start? How will the 11 deal with all the injuries? And how serious do we have to take Aston Villa? And how much does this game get impacted by Arsenal winning last night? There is loads and loads of talking points, so please immediately grab yourself a cup of tea if you've got time. Pause this video if you want to, because it is live, but you know what I mean, you can catch it after. Settle down as we talk about City for the next 20 minutes or so. Of course, the backdrop of this game is City are heading to Villa Park off the back of 3 very disappointing draws. Not disappointing always, but I guess the context, the picture overall is one of frustration right now for City fans. Not because we haven't been good enough at times with scoring goals. It's more that fact we've wasted chances and, of course, conceded sloppy goals, which has been very frustrating to witness as a Manchester City fan. We need to be better than that. It's one of those things where conceding sloppy goals and also missing simple chances, while at the same time scoring plenty, but giving teams a way back into it. Look, ultimately, there is no shame at any day drawing with Chelsea, Spurs, or Liverpool. I know some of these teams have been up and down with their form and have players missing, but they're still teams with a pedigree. They are still teams that you take seriously. So there's no real shame in that. But ultimately, at the same time, we have to be aware of the bigger picture here and what we're chasing, what we're up against, and all that kind of stuff, you know, because the table doesn't really lie. We are currently 6 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand, but we have to take this game very, very seriously. We have to. An early super chat from IC Pollen. God, no pollen in winter, mate. I don't need that. I've got allergies enough. And the super chat, when it scrolls up, I'll put it up on screen, simply just says, and by the way, please say hello if you're in the chat watching right now. It's always good to see people here. It says, I want a boring 1-0 win for City. Just a win. Exactly, mate. Look, I would be absolutely thrilled tonight with a 1-0 win. Thrilled. Truly thrilled. Like, honestly, like if we can manage to keep a clean sheet away from home at Aston Villa, where they're flying right now, that would be wonderful stuff. Pollen, I agree wholeheartedly, my friend. Yeah, like I am not allergic to that sentiment. I really am not. I mean, that to me is how I feel as well. We do need to see that. And I think it is a must-win game. I think it is. Like, Aston Villa, of course, are an excellent side. It's not going to be easy, but look, watching Arsenal last night get the last-minute Declan Rice win. Look, I knew they were going to beat Luton, but the way they did it, once again, there are parallels with last season, admittedly, but they're becoming very difficult to beat Arsenal. Only one loss so far this season. You know, they are tough. They are physical. Now Declan Rice has become a good addition to their side. Even Havertz is scoring the odd goal, and we should pay attention to ourselves always. But it's hard not to watch that and go, could have done with dropping 2 points there. It would have been really useful, because all of a sudden it'd be won tonight. We would have been just 1 point behind again, and things would have felt very different. But that's how it is, you know. Arsenal might lose at Anfield. They might indeed, you know. Like, I'll take a draw Arsenal at Anfield. It'd be nice. So this game, of course, once again, we can't ignore the injuries. There are potential injuries here. Stones might be back. We'll discuss that in a little bit. Obviously, no De Bruyne. Doku, I don't think Doku's available. Grealish is not available, suspended. Rodri's not available, suspended, which are massive, massive losses, of course. Haaland has escaped to ban, which I thought he would get. We'll go over to the actual quotes from Guardiola. Let's go to the press conference quotes, because they're always a good way of vibing the game. There's a chance Phillips could play, apparently. He ain't going to play, guarantee you. He talked about Villa. He said they've got a great manager. He makes every team better. He's exceptional. He is indeed. Guardiola said they were assessing Jeremy Doku last night. That's interesting. It doesn't mean necessarily he's not available. I don't think he will play, by the way. Stones is ready to play, which is the big news. He said John Stones is ready to play. He was ready on Sunday. He is capable of playing as a holding midfielder from the start, and not just as a centre-back. He moves into midfield, which means he is going to play in the Rodri role tonight. Absolutely guaranteed that he's going to play in the Rodri role. I'm almost certain. 1 billion% certain. They have to start him. Like, we are down on numbers here. There's a really interesting quote. He said, "My feeling today is we're going to win the Premier League. If we play the levels that we showed against Liverpool and Tottenham, we're going to do it again, knowing that it's not easy." Of course, he's aware there are things to improve, and he talks about that later on in the embargoed press conference. But he's right in terms of like the signs are there of the quality. There was still plenty of control against Spurs and Liverpool at times. I think we were the better side in both of those games. We actually were, in terms of overall control and chance creation, but both sides are more clinical, and we were a bit sloppy defensively and going forward. If we'd just been a little bit tighter, that'd it. We would have won those games. It's as simple as that, and then we'd be talking about victories. Chelsea game was an anomaly. That was crazy. That was a free-for-all. But I do honestly believe Guardiola's got a point with that. Like, he's seen the bigger picture, and I like that quote from Guardiola. Now, we'll go to the end of the press conference from tonight. Where is it? Scrolling through. He talked about complacency a lot. Now, he digged out Gary Neville's comments. He said he knows how difficult it is. Otherwise, Gary Neville would have won 4 Premier Leagues in a row in the best period of United, and he didn't. Maybe he knows complacency, but I see my team. I don't have that feeling. Not even Neville, not even Carragher, of course, because he didn't win the Premier League title once. Or Micah Richards and all the pundits. No one won 4 Premier Leagues in a row. Never, ever. No team in England, when that happens, there's more chance of not happen than happen. Maybe they, the pundits, accused of complacency because they felt this complacency in the first season that they won the Premier League. Maybe they felt it. A quite aggressive rant from Guardiola. He went on a massive defensive spree, and I really enjoyed that. The thing is, everyone took this as personal, and I know Carragher got rattled and triggered last night. He wasn't digging Carragher for not winning a Premier League title. He was pointing out how hard it is to win a Premier League title. Like, Carragher, as great as a player as he was during his day, didn't manage to win one. Neville's team didn't manage to win 4 in a row, because it's very difficult to do. That is the point he's making. He's not saying, I achieved more than you. He's saying, no, you guys know just how hard it is to do that. That is the point he's making. So it wasn't a dig. It was you get it. I'm not going to call you complacent. I'm just pointing out how hard it is. And don't you call my players who've won a treble, who've won 3 in a row, who've won a Super Cup and are already only a few points off the top of the table at the start of the season, of being complacent. He's defending his players because he's seen that hunger there still. And I agree with that. I think he was right to come out and talk about like this idea that just because City haven't won every game recently, they're suddenly complacent, and they must be complacent because they've had loads of success. It's a lazy narrative. There are no signs of complacency. More a sign of a side who've got maybe 1 or 2 errors right now. We're not fully up to rhythm. Anyone who pays any attention to Manchester City know that we always like this at the start of the season. Was City complacent last season? The season before that? The season before that? Despite winning the league at this point? At this point when we weren't at top? No, of course not. It's just part of the process. And Guardiola is absolutely right to passionately get his chest out and defend this team. Thank you for the super chat. Again, I see Paul that says Pep rattled Carragher McCoist is N-O-B. I actually like McCoist usually, but I think he was waffling the other day. Carragher's easily rattled. He always is. He went on about under 15 charges and always. And he brings it out. As soon as anyone challenges him about City, he just brings it out immediately. That's all he's got. He's always got. And it's childish, actually, because he won't say it to their faces when he meets them, or will he? Nope, never will do. But he's right, Guardiola, to defend his team. And I really like a passion of that. But he also said that maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's complacency. Honestly, I know these players. I know how we run and I know how we behaved. It was extraordinary. I have the feeling that if we maintain the level, we will win the Premier League. We'll win it again. I don't have the feeling complacency, honestly. People say you drop points against Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham. What a disaster. Chelsea, Liverpool and Tottenham. What do people expect? We're going to win 120 points, 20 points in front. I'm in love with my Man City team for many years and still am. It's so difficult to maintain our level from Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham. So difficult. If we're able to do it, we're going to win the league. But it's so difficult. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it, but this is the target. Yes, I love the passion from Guardiola in these quotes, man. They're so the chest out and they're so proud of his team, and it's good. I like this quote as well. I'm pretty certain we're not going to win the league 10 times in a row. I'm optimistic, but I'm not an idiot. This isn't going to happen. Sooner or later, we're not going to win. I said many times in my hierarchy, what we've done so far is an exception in this country, and he is right. He talked about the referees a little bit. He said that the Arteta thing wasn't a dig, it was a joke. I think he was, I'm not going to do an Arteta. I think he was making a joke. Arteta's his friend. It was obviously a joke. He's not going to call out his mate, you know what I mean? He talked about Villa anyway. He said so far what they've shown, they can challenge for the title. They're playing European competition. It's not playing like they are playing Euro competition. It's not like playing Tottenham or Chelsea one game a week. It's so far they're there. They can be there. Yeah, he's right. This is interesting. Guardiola talked about his desire. He said, "I like to live to do it again. I like to live. Every morning I wake up, I go there and say, we're going to do it again. I like it. I like that feeling. I will not say that when I see the team going down." It's interesting because basically people like Guardiola, they are inherently motivated by winning. And I really like that. It's a good point. Kyle Walker talking... deflecting the defense there about the 11. He's right, though. But it's interesting that he doesn't talk about the defenders. He talks about the whole team. Basically, yeah, Guardiola, Kyle Walker talking an awful lot, but loads of quotes. Aston Villa, let's talk about Aston Villa. They are flying this season. Aston Villa are currently, of course, sat in 4th in the table. It's really impressive. This is the state of play right now. Villa could jump ahead of us tonight, and they'll probably be looking to do that as well. If we win tonight, we're currently 3 points behind Arsenal. You know, that's not a bad deal at all, given everything. Given the apparent disaster we're having of a season, which we're not, for what it's worth. They have recent results. They dropped points away at Bournemouth the other day. Last minute equaliser. They beat League of Warsaw at home as well. They beat Villa 3-1. They beat Spurs 2-1 away. They lost 2-0 to Forest though. You know, they've got the best home record in the league, I think. I think they've won every home game. So the home record's phenomenal. We can't ignore that. Let's have a look at how they lined up against Bournemouth the other day. They sort of line up like this right now. They've got... Watkins, Zanolia, Bailey, Tielemans, Luiz. John McGinn's playing on the left currently. Bailey on the right. Lucas Digne, Pau Torres, Diego Carlos, Ezra Konsa, of course, now in England international. They are currently about Bertrand Traore, Buendia, and Tyrone Mings. Kamara could return, apparently. It might be him alongside Douglas Luiz instead of Tielemans, but we know they have got quality. Like this side right now, you could recall Cash as well, maybe at right, Matty Cash potentially. But they are such a structured, organised team who know what they do. They are well organised, they are well drilled, and they are strong. And I respect Aston Villa. They are a good side. And look, he's a quality manager. And Emery is a quality manager who wins stuff. And like his proof, his pedigree is his proof of his quality. And it absolutely deserves to be where he is right now. Watkins will take chances. He's going to score, Ollie Watkins, unless we do something miraculous defensively. He's just too good. Leon Bailey has pace on the counter. He will trouble us. McGinn is effervescent and aggressive and works hard. Douglas Luiz has got 20 yards into the back of the net screamer written all over him. Of course, a former Manchester City player, technically. Tielemans has quality too. We have to be really, really at it. Pau Torres and Diego Carlos are very good players. You know, if they can have the odd moment here and there. If we are organised, we have to get that. And fingers crossed that we can. I don't know if Diaby is available. I think, is he available? Let me just check my notes. I don't think he is. Is he? Oh, no, he's available, yeah, but he's been on the bench recently, Diaby. So, he came on the other day. Look, there's the bench there, Diaby. I think he's like in and out of the team currently. You got Jacob Ramsey as well on the bench. He's a really good player, of course. So, basically, let's talk about Manchester City, who's available. Let me just change that to blue. It always defaults back to red every time I restart my computer. Why would it do that? Let's build this team. Now, we know certain players aren't available. So, we know Ederson is going to start in goal. Let's get that out of the way immediately. We know Haaland will be up top. We know there's no Rodri. That is an absolute pain. Not good, that, you know. So no Rodri, which is a massive blow. I think we know there's no Grealish. Doku probably isn't available. So I'm immediately going to think Phil Foden is going to be on the right. I think Phil Foden will be on the right. John Stones is 1 billion% going to start in midfield, in my personal opinion. I think Alvarez is going to start because he has to start in terms of the numbers. I think it's going to be Kyle Walker at right back. He will definitely play. Silva will probably be here, I reckon. I think this is going to be Rico Lewis alongside John Stones. Obviously, Lewis will get forward. It could be Kovacic, man. It could be Kovacic, but I don't think he's going to do that. I've got a feeling we're going to see here Ake, not Vardial, Diaz, and Akanji. I think it's going to be something like this. I think it's going to be like that. Bernie on the right, yeah, I think Bernardo will play. And I think Lewis will be alongside Stones, sort of shuttling around. It could be occasionally that, you know, I think we've got real no choice. I mean, Kovacic could play, by the way. Alvarez is going to start. Look, I would like to see Kovacic. I love Alvarez. I think he's brilliant. The only thing is Guardiola might play him. I think Kovacic, he might really go for control. And if he really goes for control, he might want this. He might want this. I think Stones tonight is playing as a midfielder, by the way. Absolutely. I think he's playing as a midfielder. I think we might see something like this. Akanji will come into midfield as he always does to help. So we're going to see something like that. Stones is playing as a midfielder. It could be that, basically. Something like that. This also could be Josko, of course, over here on the left. This could be... It's going to be or Alvarez, Kovacic or Cover or Alvarez. It's going to be two of these three here. Cover, Alvarez, Lewis. And it's going to be something like that, I think. The squad doesn't have much depth right now, Tom, in the chat. It really doesn't. So this is what we're looking at right now. I think it'll be something like that. I can't see... Well, I mean, that's basically the options. I don't think Nunes is going to start. Doku might be available, you know. He might be available, Doku. And if so, he might start. But I've got a feeling he won't be. I think he's going to be unavailable. And that doesn't leave much on the bench. It really doesn't, you know. I don't think Stones is going to be. Charlie, the reason I say that is because Guardiola said that Stones can start as a holding midfielder. And so I think he will start him as a holding midfielder. I think he's going to start in the Rodri role. He's going to start in the Rodri role. And I think he will start Kanji as well. I don't think he's got much options really right now, to be honest. Look, it's going to be something like that. And maybe we could change the formation, but he's not going to do it right now when we haven't got certain players. I think to change the formation, he's going to need everyone back. He's going to need Stones playing regularly, De Bruyne. He's going to need Doku and Grealish. Yeah, it could be Lewis alongside Stones as well, but I think Akanji's going to play and do his usual thing. This is what I reckon it'll be. Look, how do I feel about the game? I am not confident tonight. I got a feeling it could be another draw, like a 2 or something like that. Look, I really hope, my heart says City are going to really dig down tonight. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be solid. They're going to really work. We're going to keep the ball. Haaland is going to be angry after the other day. He's going to take his chances. He's going to do that. That's what I want to say. Rico Lewis will have an excellent game. And, you know, John Stones will galvanise this team and will be strong. That's what I want to say. But the absence of Rodri is a massive blow, you know. The absence of Doku and Jack Grealish really hinders us. Foden on the left, he's not been there for a while, but he's going to play on the left. It could be difficult. There's no chance Calvin Phillips plays, in my opinion. He might get run out at some point, but he's not going to play. He'd rather play Stones, Nunes, Kovacic, and Rico Lewis ahead of him. So he's so far down the pecking order. You'd rather play Bernardo Silva there as well. So no, we all know right now Calvin Phillips is not going to play. He's like literally the bottom of the pecking order. Like he's the bottom. He's the bottom. It goes Rodri, Stones, Kovacic, Nunes, or Rico Lewis, maybe Bernardo Silva there, and then Calvin Phillips. It's that far below. He'd rather play Kanji there than Calvin Phillips. He really would. For whatever reason, he doesn't rate him. So I'm hoping we see City do that. What I really think is going to happen, I can't not see Watkins score. I reckon it's going to be a draw 2-2 again, and it's going to be, everyone's going to freak out. But my head says that, and my heart says City dig in for a 2-1 win, and it's impressive. Either way, I will be here tonight. I'll be here tonight, guys, for the watch-along. Game's at 8:15 p.m. tonight, so I'll be there at 7:45. I want to see you there. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for watching. I'm going to all love you loads and leave you. Fingers crossed the Blues do it. For now, head over to esteemedcompany.com, my website. Check it out if you want to. Subscribe to the channel if you're new Blues. In a bit, bye-bye. Come on, you Blues.